Welcome to 15.1 Bivariate Categorical Data. At the very top of your notes page, you have a section for writing in some vocabulary. At the top, you have measurement data, and you need to know that measurement data is data that consists of measurements. So right here, you can write down this sentence right here. And then it asks you for some examples. Some examples are going to be things like measurement. So you could say I'm 64 inches tall. You could say for age I am 8 years old. You could give that type of information for measurement data. Another type of data is categorical data, and you can write this information in. It's going to be data that falls into categories. And that is going to be things like what gender are you? Well, I'm a male or I'm a female. It could be whether or not you like what sports you like. So then you could say, okay, I like football, I like baseball, I like dancing, I like gymnastics, things like that. So it's going to be categories instead of actual measurements. The last space is bivariate categorical data. The word bi is two, like bicycle has two wheels. Variate stands for variable. So that's what bivariate data is going to mean. And we want it in categories. So bivariate categorical data, you can go ahead and write down this, and you can make it smaller if you want, but it's going to take categorical data that is collected about two different variables of the same population. And right here, they've given you some examples, and it says maybe you are collecting data from a group of people about their gender and whether or not they own a pet. So then you would be collecting bivariate categorical data because you are asking people about their gender, and that's a category, and whether or not they own a pet, and so the answer would be yes or no. So both of those are going to be categories. Okay, so the next section, they want to know, are you using or are you collecting bivariate categorical data? And here I have put at the very top what you need to know. So if you are looking for bivariate data, you're looking for at least two different questions, because bi means two. So two different questions. Categorical data means, are you asking for categories like yes or no, football or baseball, that type of thing, or are you asking for measurements? If you're using measurements, like how old are you, then that's going to be measurement data. So that's not going to be what we're looking for. So the first survey says, first of all, there are two questions. So 1, 2, that makes it bivariate, two questions. So survey question number 1 says, are you male or female? So your answer is going to be a word, male or female. It is not going to be any sort of number or measurement. The second question is, how did you get to school today? Well, your answer for that could be that you went on the bus. It could be that you walked. It could be that you are a car rider. So all three of those are categories. None of them are measurements. So is this a bivariate categorical data? Yes, it is. Okay, survey number 2 has 1, 2 questions. That means it's bivariate because we're asking two different questions. Survey question number 1 says, how many minutes does it take you to get to school? Okay, this is going to be a number. So it's going to be, it takes me 7 minutes, or it takes me 12 minutes, or it takes me 52 minutes. How many inches tall are you? That is also going to be a number for data. So this is going to be measurement data, not categorical data. So we're going to say no, it does not equal bivariate categorical data. Survey question number 3 has 1, 2, 3 questions. That right there makes it not bivariate. Just so you remember about the categories. So did you watch a movie last weekend? You could say yes or no. You're not going to say how many movies, so that is not a number, so that's okay. Did you play a game last weekend? That is also yes or no. So yes or no questions are categories. Did you do homework? So that is also a yes or no. So that is also categories. So it is categorical, but it's not bivariate. Okay, this one says survey number 1. We have two different types. So bivariate is correct because it has two different ones. What is your favorite type of movie? So now you're going to say, okay, it's romantic, it's comedy, it's horror, whatever that is. So this is definitely categorical. How many siblings do you have? This is going to be a number. So that's going to make it a measurement. Because this one is a measurement here, then it is not going to be bivariate categorical. Survey question number 2. First, we only have 2 questions, so that means it's bivariate. Do you play a sport? So the answer here is yes or no. Those are categories. Do you want to go to college? The answer here is yes or no. So because our answers are going to be yes or no, then yes, this one is going to be bivariate categorical. 2 questions, lands in categories. Okay, for this one, you want to see if there is an association between dogs being purebred and needing surgery during the last year. So you need to design a survey to collect the bivariate categorical data. You want to identify the variables, the categories, and the groups to which they are going to fall. Okay, so your answers may be a little bit differently than mine, but the first thing we're going to do is we're going to write down some questions. So because we are wanting to know about the association between dogs being purebred and needing surgery in the last year, so the first thing we're going to need is, do you have a purebred dog? So is your dog a purebred? Something along this question right here. And then, did your dog need surgery in the last year? Once again, we can't ask how many surgeries they need because that would be measurement data. We want to keep it categorical. So does your dog need surgery? The answer is yes or no. The variables are purebred, that's going to be yes or no, and then need surgery, that's also going to be yes or no. So our categories are going to be yes or no for both of those. The data that you're going to collect is going to fall into groups. So you're going to have purebred dogs that need surgery, purebred dogs that did not need surgery. And then you are also going to have dogs that are not purebred that did need surgery, and then dogs that were not purebred that did not need surgery. So those are going to be the 4 groups that your data is going to be in. Okay, so you want to see now if there is an association between playing sports and being left-handed. So we're going to design the survey to collect bivariate categorical data. So bivariate, we need 2 questions. Identify the variables, the categories, and the groups in which the data is going to fall. So your first question is going to be, do you play sports? Yes or no? And are you left-handed? Yes or no? Because our first question is, we want to know, just are we playing sports? And then are we left-handed? The variables on that is going to be yes or no on either one because that's going to be the answers that they're going to give. So the variables are the answers. And then the data is going to fall into 4 different groups. So people who are playing a sport and who are left-handed, people who play a sport and are not left-handed, people who don't play a sport but are left-handed, and people who do not play a sport and are not left-handed. So once you have all of those answers, then you're going to be able to go ahead and graph and chart your data. Right now, all we're caring about is, can you identify if there are bivariate and categorical data? Okay, you're going to start your homework and let me know if you have any questions. Have a good day.